So I feel like there's been kind of a lull in the world of gaming news recently, aside from that stuff that came out about the Starfield PS5 port, which I was going to do a video about, but really I just don't feel like I have anything unique to say, other than the fact that lol to all those people who like a year and a half ago were telling me I was an idiot for saying I wouldn't be surprised if the game came to PlayStation, because like, obviously this game was going to come to PlayStation. I'm more so excited for all the flip-flopping that's going to happen once the port is officially announced. You know, all the Xbox diehards who were like, this game is suddenly not that good because it's on PlayStation. Or what's more likely is all the PlayStation dudes who were like, wow, this game is horrible, are now going to be like, wow, I can't wait to buy this game, hooray. Because logos really are all that people care about when it comes to this stuff. I played Starfield when it came out. I thought it was fine. I got like, I don't know, 15-20 hours into it and then just kind of got bored because Bethesda RPGs just really aren't my thing. It was interesting. It was fun for a while, and I've been meaning to go back and play it after the big overhaul that happened a few months after release, because I haven't touched it since like, I don't know, November of the year it came out. And from the perspective of someone who doesn't have much like attachment or nostalgia for Bethesda RPGs, I thought it was perfectly fine. I'm glad it's coming to other platforms, apparently, because more games going to more platforms is always a good thing. And that's really the extent of all I have to say about the matter until the port is officially announced and all the fanboys start throwing bags of dog poo at each other. Then I'll have a whole lot to say, don't worry. But I really wasn't sure what to make a video about today until I opened my phone, and like a nice little gift from the man upstairs, this article was at the very top of my For You tab. My goodness, this sure is for me. So for like several years, we've been hearing about how Microsoft is big and evil because they started phasing out physical copies. And I mean, like, I agree that phasing out physical copies is a bad thing, but this was used as a big beating stick by Sony fanboys, that Microsoft isn't doing physical copies, that you gotta buy physical to support the developers. But now, here comes Push Square with what is essentially a hit piece on the mere concept of physical games. And we're going to read through this together. It's another article video. Aren't you excited, viewer? We read so much here. We're like reading Rainbow or fucking Between the Lions. How many of you watched Between the Lions growing up? Because I sure did, and that's why I can read so good nowadays. But we're going to read this article when we're going to hear this PlayStation-centric website try to explain why phasing out physical copies is a bad thing, but also having physical copies is a bad thing, and that suddenly the digital-only future for games is actually just peachy. And just to make my opinions on all of this clear, if you're not going to give us full digital ownership of games, then physical copies are absolutely a necessity. And like in a perfect world, we would have both. But if you're not going to have one, you gotta have the other, is what I'm saying. And with console games basically never giving you full ownership of digital games, the fact that we're now turning around and saying physical copies are also bad, it's just an interesting change of heart. On top of just being stupid, in what universe does it benefit the consumer for the consumer to not actually own the things they buy? Let's just hear your perspective on this, Push Square, because you've had such wonderful takes in the past. So the article is called "Disc Rot Already Afflicts Your Physical Game Collection. Damned if you do, damned if you don't." No, you're just damned if you don't, actually. Also, apparently it's a revelation that physical media can break or deteriorate. That doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. By this logic, nothing should exist because nothing is invincible. You should never buy anything because it's possible for it to break. Everything should be digitally licensed by corporations because at least then they won't physically break. Am I right? And if you think I'm being facetious and like misrepresentative or blowing things out of proportion from the author, just wait, because spoiler alert, I really wasn't even exaggerating that much. I had to get my coffee. Hey, I'm coughing here. I got coffee. With the console wars officially being over, gamers need something to debate endlessly, and the digital versus physical argument makes for as good a fight as any other. Ah yes, the only people arguing digital versus physical are the same people who do pointless console wars. That's how this article starts. Man, you sure do have a great understanding of the issue. I can tell. Because the best way to get people to take you seriously is to start your article by instantly insulting anyone who cares about the topic. Both positions have clear upsides and downsides, and you're either in one camp or the other. However, some fresh fuel has just been dumped on the fire. Did you know that your physical collection is rotting as we speak, and the valuable discs themselves, rather than outlasting digital servers forever, are rapidly approaching their use-by date? Couple things I find interesting here. First of all, my game collection is not rotting. I have a bunch of GameCube and PS2 games in my cabinet right now. They've just been sitting there. I kept my physical collection from when I was younger, or I kept as much of it as I could. And I am absolutely certain that if I put those discs into the consoles, they would work. Because discs don't just rot. They can get broken, they can get damaged. But unless they get broken and or damaged, they don't deteriorate if you just keep them in the fucking case. So that's problem number one. Problem number two here is that you say that the valuable discs are not going to outlast digital servers. So we're not even trying to hide the fact that we don't care if you don't own your digital games. You're not saying that they won't outlast the game files, the code, the download. You're saying they won't outlast digital servers. The main problematic word there being servers. My boy, if I own the game digitally, why do I need access to a server? So we open the article by insulting anyone who cares about the topic and then instantly misrepresent the topic. Fuck you. But the third problem here is this part at the end where you say that game discs are rapidly approaching their use-by date. First of all, that implies there is a use-by date. Second of all, that implies there is a set-in-stone use-by date, which means why are they still selling them at all in your world? If physical discs have a hard end date, why aren't they decreasing in price? Because if they were rapidly approaching an expiration date, why would they still be charging full price for them? That makes no sense. No one would buy them if there was a hard end date to them. Can you please stop being stupid? The Gamer just published a fascinating article. There's a first. The Gamer published something good that looks into Warner Bros. New DVD exchange program for those experiencing premature disc rot, sometimes known as laser rot. Regardless of the name, disc rot refers to the chemical deterioration that affects all discs sooner or later, eventually making them unreadable. This inevitable fate awaits all CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays. CDs have a 50 to 100 year lifespan. DVDs are supposed to last between 30 and 100 years. Despite them being the newest iteration, the Blu-ray discs PS5 games are printed on have the shortest life expectancy and are estimated to last around 20 years under ideal conditions. Yeah, that's not a great representation of what was actually found. I'll let you read the Gamer article for yourself if you want, because this video is really not about that. But I will throw one little tidbit in here, which is that even if we assume PS5 discs only last 20 years, only. I say only as if that's like a small amount of time. But let's just say they only last 20 years. PS5 discs only last 20 years. But let me ask you a question. A game comes out today, right? Let's just say, I don't know, fucking Grand Theft Auto comes out today. There's a physical disc and there is a digital download available from the PlayStation Store. Which one of those is more likely to still belong to me in 20 years? The PS5 disc or the PS5 digital download? I mean, games are already just being taken away from you. Sony themselves have proven quite recently that they are more than capable of just taking a game away from you after you paid for it. So I ask you again, a game comes out today. Right now, today, on March 17th, there is a physical version and a console digital version. Which one of those versions is more likely to still belong to me in 20 years? Or rather, which one can I guarantee will still belong to me in 20 years? Moving on. As the very oldest DVDs ever produced, such as Push Square editors Sammy Barker's beloved Mars Attacks, aren't even 30 and have already begun to fail. It seems that defective discs were distributed at some point and Warner Bros. Is now attempting to make good. Oh, so this whole thing isn't even about discs as a whole, it's about Warner Bros. Discs that were defective? The Warner Bros. Discs that were defective is the basis of your article about how all physical games are approaching their end and deteriorating? Are you capable of thought? Disc rot can be postponed by keeping your collection in a cool, dry environment free of humidity, out of UV light, and sealed to prevent oxidation. So, you know, the way that almost everyone already does DVD storage. Still, that's assuming that your precious discs were pristine and not defective to begin with. I love the flip-flopping here. We went from all your games are deteriorating to Warner Bros. Is trying to fix their defective discs to laser rot affects all discs everywhere, right back to Warner Bros. Discs were defective, and that's actually what this was about. Streaks, spots, shadows, and other discoloration on the underside are all telltale signs that the degradation process is underway. As the gamer notes, it's ironic that the best thing you can do to preserve your physical game collection is to back it up digitally. Yes, backing your games up digitally, as in like ripping the content from the disc onto a local offline file. That's not the same as what you said earlier when you were talking about servers. I just hope you know that. If you have an extensive collection of PS1 games, some of which may be 30 years or older now, it might be time to entomb them in stone, sealed preservation chamber, or failing that, fire them up again for the sake of old times. Nothing lasts forever, after all. Did you expect your physical game collection to survive until the inevitable collapse of the universe? Yeah, and digitally licensed games will? Like, what is the argument you're making here? Are you surprised that disc manufacturers in the 90s might not have expected consumers to cling on to their shiny treasures for decades to come? Why are we talking about the 90s for an argument that you're making now, in the year 2025? I don't give a shit what was going on in the 90s if you're talking about how the industry is now. If you're trying to make a point of something that I should do now, then you should give me a reason that is applicable now. Lovingly lay out your collection and savor every last moment in the comments section below. And then the article ends right there. So basically, physical games are bad and digital games are good, and the whole physical versus digital debate is all stupid and on the same level as console wars, all because some discs from the 90s don't work anymore. Is that really the point we're sticking with? That's the winning argument that you have in your fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc. That's what you loaded up. Physical and digital is a pointless debate because some DVDs from the 90s don't work anymore. Gosh, I wonder why we're choosing now to shift our attitude on this. It's just, I wonder what's happening. Ugh, it's so annoying. It's like I said in the beginning. If a game is not going to be available DRM free digitally, one way or another, then there absolutely should be a physical copy. And frankly, I think there should be physical copies for everything. I'm a PC gamer. I wish I could still buy discs. I would totally still buy discs if it was an option. Not exclusively, because digital stuff is just convenient. But I'm glad there's such a rallying around physical media these days. People don't like the idea of not being able to actually hold the thing that they spent money on. We're willing to deal with it if it's like a really great price, but we're not willing to deal with paying full price for things that can be taken away from us or altered at any time without our consent. In before, you did give your consent when you signed the DRM agreement. Yeah, the DRM agreement is the problem. Thanks, Frank. Fuck yourself, Frank. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Okay, I'm going to the Doofus Club now. Alderoth 01, EK, Ultimate Jack, Bobby Hinner 2, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 32-7, Devastator 2000, Edge Knight 1789, Joe would get smoked by Heroic Rag. I don't know what that is. Raptor 1, my name is Gamer World. Now it's I Rub My Nips to Joe. Wildgamer 2001, Sad Euphrator, MK2396E, Firestorm 2056. The crocodile in the moat got me, Joe. Help. Henthai, Ex Machina Gamma, One Man Riot, Elite Wolf, and Omega Fire Hazard 105, Epsilon 504. If you read as you gay, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, Partial Mean Aid, GWXSS, Doom Kaiju, Rascal Wolf, Evanco, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Realizer, Giving the Dead People, Bender Fondue, All Gives Video, Neon Alec, but backwards, Max Tilla V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, Professor Twinkle, Nips, Mick P, Stones, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raphael the Rat King, Jessica Shepard, Zombie Killers 5072, Riki Spiral, Ricky Tiki Tabby, Muskie. It's Joe from Tennessee because he's the only 10 I see. Kurumi the Steel Angel, Balto's Gate 3 is my favorite anime of all time. Sergeant Jason Bond, Smash Jump, Sergeant Jason Bond. Jesus Christ. Baron von Vaterholm, Cyrus failed the homework, admonished me Joe, forgot to cancel, now I can't afford a motorcycle. True Text 940, Sensen Nakage. I'm talking to IE to make another thread about you. Noka's number 1 Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Maxachev, we need a dread game chap, I am the law, totally insane, Event at Audrey, Black Cobra, Non-Vorlaw, Vox Alto, Night of Cypher, Sir Faps a lot, aka Cloaked Onyx, Nindox, Reborn Me with the fan art, Nick, ML04. I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray with the fan art, Alex's Chocolate Factory, Choreographer, Wolf of Midnight, Stay Right at the Cunt Connoisseur, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Steve Wentz Studios, Film Crack the Beastums, Own Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thomas Buckin, Hero Culture, Thorn Skate, Mac Next, Severin Evans, Mr. Bonnie 03, Is the Catalina Frickin' Wine Mixer, Pow Pow, Why Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Grimsy, Nippa, Hangman for Hire, the artist formerly known as Eldon the Noble, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, Ian Action, Flopping Pingus 97, Michael Musio, Mega Key, Kushka, the Scruffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, the JoJo 6, Fast Growth, Femtanga, Raptor Tim, Omnis Steph 94, from Blue Hook, and just spit all over my fucking microphone. Joe, I forgot to cancel, now I can't pay ransom, that sucks. The Return of the King, went upside down, Snorlaxon, waiting on my medical card, Jody Breeze, Smitty, Werber, Jermaine, oh my god, I know how to say it, it's just every time I get to this point, I've been talking for so long that it fucks my mouth up. Maxler, El Massimo, Demetrius Papagiorno, McAdvertisement, Diego Garcia, Hates, Maddie Kibikins, Boofner, American Idiot, Rebel Blood 80, Antoine Horton, Phantom Dusk, was Peak 6th Gen Gaming, Discord plug, discord.gg/doofus. Darth Muffin, Joe Tried Crab Champions, it's literally in my Steam cart right now. I'm gonna add some more things to it on the spring sale, but I'm absolutely going to get Crab Champions. It's in my cart. Oh no, it's Justin, Ranroy, Toonie Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoose, my name is Mud, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and I'm asking you once again to try the finals, Joe. Bet Joe's script just says ramble and a target time. You give me too much credit. I don't have a script at all. It's like I pick up the mic, I click record, and that's where we go. I don't script shit anymore, can you tell? Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, Harmon Smith's Fart Clap, Billet, 310 Char, Rob C, I am Veg, the Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen's back, the Scrub Master, Wilds is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh boy. Oh boy. I gotta rest my voice. I have to rest my voice. I'm recording this at 8 in the morning, but at 7 o'clock, my band is opening for the Queers again, so I need to rest my little voice there. Listen to Curbside Anthem, that's my band. You can donate to our like travel fund and like our studio fund and our road fund with the donation link down below. I guess that was my really not subtle plug of my band. I guess I can make it even more not subtle and say there's a YouTube channel in the description that goes to my band's YouTube channel. There's also an Instagram to my band, at Curbside Anthem on Instagram. That's cool. Okay, toodles.